of different automobiles, sources of automobiles, means automobiles, industrializations, rapid industrialization, agriculture, pollutants. These are the pollutants are enormously enter into the it will causes of lead to climate change, ozone layer depletion, ozone layer now depleted. Nowadays, we'll discuss about the all those things. Already we know about the concerned about the pollution point of air aspects. We discussed yesterday class and also water pollutions. We also discuss about this water means main sources of water get polluted because of various pollutants because of industrial effluents, agriculture runoff. They may be causes of eutrophications, biomagnifications, last chemical industries accidents also. During that chemical accidents, Bhopal gas tragedy also. We learned about that. We learned about the Bhopal gas 1984 aspects also we discussed. Now we discussed all the biodiversity laws. In that biodiversity loss also we discussed about the biodiversity. Why we need to discuss about that biodiversity is lost due to anthropogenic activity, habitat destructions, um, habitat get be destructed by the anthropogenic activities. Why it will be destructed by the human activities like pollution. Main sources of pollution it is main increasing of pollutions. Sorry, the some diversity biodiversity is lost. The next aspects is objectives. This all and about this objectives of to understand the voluntary organization, study environmental NGOs, and then about the next aspects. These are the things already we discussed yesterday. Awareness point of view. Industries are increasing the industries. And now we discuss about the voluntary and other agencies. In that NGOs is responsible for that. That NGOs there is a voluntary agencies. Voluntary law, they responsible for the development, the supplement of government efforts and focus on social and environmental and economic issues. These are the things we discuss about the NGOs means voluntary any students involved in that. So very voluntary peoples are they comes to they save that environment towards every citizen is responsible for the toward the environment. They'll come voluntarily social environment and economic issues. They discussed about that. Society has the nature of citizen initiative in India particular and different parts of the world generally in currently understand the significant changes in a brief historical look will enable to understand the statement the most of the clearly document examples of citizenship initiative modern societies. Next in that aspects also citizen is responsible for that during that every citizen is responsible for that toward the citizen is responsible for that means every historical look enable to in that topics we understand the objectives and voluntaries and responsible for that uh, agencies and play vital role in aspects of in that also responsible for that. And to society and nature also nature of the citizen initiative in India, particular and different parts of the world is general and currently understand the significant changes. A brief historical look will enable to better understand of the the statement. The most clearly documented example citizenship initiative in modern state of social reform and movements in 19th century. In 19th century, they have responsible for the Raja Ram Mohan Rai and several other galvanized citizens action challenger to the prevalent socio-economic, cultural prejudice related caste system and status of human and children's. There is a mainly intention to every citizen is responsible for that toward the environment and also other social aspects and any things support of such initiative came from the various sections in a society. Many examples of initiating include schools, health facilities, orphanages and widow homes and found in this period. Later on this also initially during this period foreign missionaries began to work activities of education and health and especially remote areas. Means towards the environmental awareness aspects, every person is responsible, citizen is responsible towards the support of initiative came various sections of many examples of initiating from the schools and health facilities, orphanages, and also widow homes. All are responsible for the during the foreign period. Next, missionaries began to work actively in education and especially health in rural and remote areas. Right, these are the things freedom movement reflects the next phases of these traditions. Despite our political agenda, this movement could achieve the mass participation. So Mahatma Gandhi is PL based on the principle of voluntarism and satyagraha, sacrifice and struggles. I mean, these are the things already we might have studied in yesterday class also. Now we'll discuss today class also. Gandhi has encouraged in citizens to involve themselves in a construction of social work. Toward the social work parallel to the determined in political against British rules. During the Satyagraha means sacrifice and struggles. Every citizen is responsible for the toward the reflex of society as responsible for latter initially during this period. Foreign missionaries began to work. Raja Ram Mohan Rai and several other galvanize citizens action to citizens prevent the socio-cultural prejudice related caste system status of human and children. These are the responsible for the every citizen is responsible for the toward the society point of view. Next, meaning of voluntary organizations. What is the meaning of this? Is the why we need this are the organization? Why these are the organization working for the seeking of benefit only, one benefit, and there is the seeking of societal benefit. They might be 100% they are benefit. They are working about the society benefit. There is no profit and non-governmental bodies work for the public welfare, not only self benefit. It not for the self benefit. It is public welfare based on voluntary participations is responsible for this. Next, what is the another phase of the development occurred in India after the independence? Why we need there is a voluntary organizations we are working towards the toward the Raja Ram Mohan Rai and Gandhiji and freedom struggles. This. Why we need to explain another phase of development occurred in India after the independence. After the independence also, though out it roots of colonial governance by the British. After the independence also ruled after the governments of British, they are working toward the societal benefit. Government has taken as a dominant role in promoting socio-economic development and Role of citizens of various institutions which represent them gradually declined in last 4 decades. Last 4 decades also they are working for society benefit. Why we that benefit they are working towards benefit of society towards the 4 decades. This also we are clear about that they are working toward the after the ruling of British only they are working toward the societal benefit. Government has taken the dominant role in promoting socio-economic development, socially economical development, role of citizens and various institutions which represent gradually declined the last 4 decades. From the last, not only from the state took over all the resources, land, water, forest. They are working not only social organization, social benefits. They are working from different resources point of view. What are the resources already we are discussed as there is a nature they have a different types of resources present, land resources, water resources, forest resources. Yeah, they are working toward the resources, but it got equated with all the considered as a public point of view. Right, public point of view in common property. I will share a slide on common property. Just look after this slide. Right, these are the phases of the not only state look after their all others land resources, water and forest and but it got equated to with all the considers and public and common property. Thus, not only for natural resources but also systems, social functioning and mutual support and education and governance and got systematically declined. Right, these are the things already we discuss about the populations dynamics means these are the things we already discussed about that. In this way, welfare of policies and state have succeeded making of the citizens and emotionally, intellectually, and economically depend on the state and its agencies, thereby creating possibly independence and also apathy. Means welfare policy state have the successfully making of citizens emotionally, intellectually, economically depend on the state and its agencies, creating positivity, dependence, empathy. These are the things we welfare of our policies. Policies are making by the government. Now policies are now emotionally connected to the citizens. They are intellectually, economically, they depend on that. Policies are made by the government that is emotionally, intellectually, economically, they are agencies, they creating positively depends on empathy and also their depends apathy and the existing material based on institutional capacity of the society destroyed in this process. Right, institutionally they are destroyed in this process. Traditionally, institutions like Grama Sabha, irrigation and natural resources management mechanism have been faded into villains. Alternatively, a system is governance and regulation and controlled emergence with which was based on alien values and principles and structurally this is the governance is a regulation of control and emergency, which was based on alien values and principles and structures. Now India has adopted to state-led models of the development of independence. 40 years of this strategy has only increased in advocacy, mystery, and poverty. All systems of governments have lost their effectiveness of creativity, public control, and our nations and resources was diverted to individual gain during this period. Globalization is added to a stimulus to this process. Means all the system of governance have been lost effectiveness and also credibility, public control, and our nations resources was effectively diverted individual gain and during this period and globalization added to stimulus to this process. It is in these situations declining role of state and increasing role of marketing and the association of civil and also societies of situations they are increasing role of marketing and dissertations. The freedom movement reflects the next phase of this tradition despite its political agenda. This movement could be achieve the mass participation, though Mahatma Gandhi's appeal based on the principle of voluntarism and satyagraha and sacrifice and struggles. The Gandhi has encouraged the citizens to involve themselves in a constructive and social work and parallel to the determined in political work against British rules. Another phase of development occurred in with the government taking that socio-economic development role of citizens and various institutions, not only state, means right. The government taking dominant role in promoting socio-economic development and role of citizens and various institutions which represent them gradually. All the land and water resources, forest and material, but equated with all that considered as the public. That's not only natural resources but also the system of the social functioning and mutual support and education. That systematically declined. In this way, welfare of policy state have been successfully making of citizens emotionally, intellectually, and economically depend on the state and its agencies, thereby creating positivity and dependency, apathy. This is the existing material based on institutional capacity of the society was nurtured in this process. Traditional institutions like Gram Sabha, irrigation, and natural resources management mechanism have faded into the oblivions. Alternative new system of governance of regulation and untold emergency, which was based on alien values, principles, and structures. Now, India has adapted to state-led models of development after the independence. More of the 40 years of after the strategies only increase inequality, misery, and poverty. All system of governance has lost their effectiveness and credibility. Public controls and over nations resources was effectively diverted to individual again during this period. Globalization is added to and stimulus to this process. It is the situation's declining role of state and also increasing role of market that reabsorption and civil society and citizen actions needed to be understand. Right, the role of voluntary organization, social development, environmental protection, awareness, and advocacy. Changing dimensions in the voluntary organizations, farm charity, art to development, and farm local to global focus and the professionalism of NGOs. Right, voluntary organization changing dimensions. Changing dimensions means voluntary organizations changing dimensions. Voluntary organization is by the definitions voluntary associations of individuals governed by the guided by the self-designed rules and regulations in accordance with the relevant status of the land, including fundamental right to freedom association. The distinctive motivation of voluntary social work and derives from the intrinsic natural human will to survive the fellow beings, especially the weak and deprived, oppressed, and needy. This is the moral impressive and it's in the non-voluntarism. India is a voluntary association, not only always formal, registered a key motive of the mode in which social functioning takes place in all aspects of people lives in affairs. Next, social and community life of element of self-help, mutual aid, self-management and cooperation as well as competitions and social welfare and security maintenance of social religious aspects and still carried on the strength of the voluntary service and associations. These qualities and institutions are deeply grained in this cultural drama tradition tends various communities, occupational and ethnic groups, as well as villages, towns, and religions. Thus, voluntarism was every way of life in India, especially in the village. However, the dimension of voluntary work changed in the pre-independence and period with various social reforms, cultural and religious revival, constructive work movements, and missionary work. Later the period was most of the movements are related to organization identified themselves with the independence of struggles. Thus, the voluntary movement was almost working in a tandem with the government beginning stages of post-independence of era. But the mid 60s clear that neither government though planned development of allowed social this voluntary social political movement had been successful. We tackle the problems in rural property. In fact, this had become a aggravated large scale displacement of alien improvised creating by the development process. The bulk voluntary organizations, rural development belong to the professionalism voluntary work pattern crystallized during the 70s, and though the self-managed, these organizations were clearly located in mainstream development context. Their role in the voluntary sectors in blame become a recognized in national seventh 5 years plan and suitable budgetage, their allocations, and historically speaking, work of voluntary organization in India can be broadly categorized into four types. First type is offer services which address the important need and sections and population and diverse areas, education, health, and drinking waters. This type of organization in charity, pure and destroy have been second type have been was role as an awakened by the organized pure and marginalized struggles for the rights of expression and their prosperities. This organization recent years being called as a social action groups thought it includes the promoting the development of interventions areas of development deforestation income generation irrigation agriculture etc in have been involved in providing such development of initiative further new form voluntary actions emergent respect of networking providing support to grassroots the states and levels of research and finally and fifthly activism individually informal groups and institutional has been now new form of voluntary actions based on entirely on environmental issues concern about the consequence of one's actions concern of human generally life cornerstones of the this activism. Right, environmental NGOs. What is the role of NGOs? We discuss about the NGOs role. Organization working for environmental protections. NGOs, main environmental NGOs mainly working about the organizations for working environmental protection on local and national international levels. Environmental NGOs over the past 30 years, environmental movement has been gone dramatically moved from the strength to strength the world over the however the in India this movement despite a few shining is still initial stages of comparatively earlier writers like Rachel Carson and Barry Comner and Barbara Ward and have been taken the cause of environment. Over these years, thousands of individual volunteers and local groups have become a part of the powerful movement. Scientific and NGOs groups have been played in a major role in the environmental movements. And really they are working toward the environmental movements earlier beginners. They are were first to point out evidence of significant environmental risk and changes resulting from the growing intensity of human activities. Right, non-governmental organization, NGOs, citizens groups, and pioneered creation of public awareness and political pressure stimulated by the government to act. Several non-international NGOs have been produced to report the status of the prospects and global environmental and natural resources base. A few national NGOs publishing state government environment reports regularly, including in India. Some other have been produced regional reports on similar lines. One such reports of vernacular language of Telugu was also produced in the Andhra Pradesh for the first time in India. These reports have been played indispensable role in since Stockholm Conference in the 1970s in identifying the risk and assessing the environment impacts, designing the implementing of the measures to deal with them. Next, in this vast west center stage toward the today occupied by the select group of mass members of based on organization which bring issues like companions to for well known among the Greenpeace and Friends of the Earth, Serra Club, Syria Club, and also Environment Defense Fund and others. These are the are equally powerful national NGOs like Bund, Germany, Society for Conservation of Nature, Denmark, and Society of Nature, innovation in Sweden, and the study of this organization will certainly reveal this ways organization modern civil society to bring the social changes. They have been grassroots based on with the mass membership and which enables to financial independence. Some US NGOs have been annual budget to like a million years of some uh, national environmental NGOs in Europe claim to 1 to percentage of country's adult population. Their working methodology includes the varieties of tools, research analysis, media attentions, and countless battles to wide varieties of lobbying and protest techniques. Environmental lobby is represented mainly in NGOs can no longer be ignored by the political agenda. In many these countries, many organizations have been strength from the mobilizations and public opinions, and not only influencing the political systems and economic systems. Thus, there are the now at least 11 major environmental organizations in US and ranging the National Wildlife Federations and Wildlife Fund for Natures, and right now Friends of the Earth and Greenpeace of the Left. These are the organization need for NGOs. Why we need NGOs? Environmental degradation, climate change, loss of biodiversity. We have already discussed NGOs. Why we need required. There's a Greenpeace introduction, and there's a Greenpeace introduction of this international environmental NGOs founded in 1971 after the Stockholm Conference. This is the found in headquarters like Umbre- Amsterdam. It is found to protect the environment, promote the peace, and prevent the environmental destructions. Greenpeace major activities it is anti-nuclear companions. Greenpeace it is the found in international NGO. It is a climate change action, forest and ocean protections. Greenpeace this was founded in 1970. Presently, its membership was in 50 million worldwide. Greenpeace concentrates its work in five areas: nuclear issues, atmosphere and energy, ocean ecology, toxics, tropical rainforest. Its main offices in 30 countries. Support of Germany, Holland, US, and Britain. This is the organization was started when small group of people set out the finishing of about and Canada, Vancouver and Canada to express their oppositions to US nuclear weapons and small Alcasan Island in 70s. Right, using simple message, non-violent direct action, and maximum impact of Greenpeace has been grown from the small group of activities in the influential international environmental organizations with a multi-millions dollars budget. In 1993, Greenpeace International employed about the 85 people, including the scientists, biologists, researchers, and journalists. The Greenpeace established a base off in Antarctica, the last unfull of continent in 1987, and subsequently 1991. 50 countries have been signed a protocol not to dig oil and gas any minerals at the South Pole in next 50 years. Many of you have Greenpeace growing achievement in this 20th history. Now, the Greenpeace is well-known for putting new issues on the agenda, such chloride industries. As a chloride industries as a major polluter, huge transfer of toxic waste. As a chloride industries, we know aware of that toxic waste north and to south. Greenpeace increasingly trying to find solution, promote the safe alternative programs, and using the industrial pollutions its membership wide. They are kept to inform the activities though bulletins and magazines, and many subscribers of these magazines send their reports which have been served to as a useful feedback. Volunteers can informs school and other groups about Greenpeace and its work for the environment. Right, Sierra Club introductions, oldest environmental NGOs founded in is in 1892. It is founded in 1892. That is the conservation of natural resources, promote the sustainability use. The Sierra Club in 1892, then founded in 1892 United States by the John Muir and conservationist. Since the inspiration of Sierra Club was involved in several efforts to be preserve park areas in wildlife sanctuaries, especially expanding the area. Smite National Park in California, however, the Muir its approaches are entirely different from the mid 50s and 60s. It was a confidential in a later period from the basically an organizations which had been advocated preserved in wilderness. Sierra Club and embraced in new approaches of caring for the public health and after the success of Richard Carson Silent Springs. The club statement of the purpose of the all issues and club has been coordinated environmental group working in common groups. Right, although the staff members are exercising strong influence over the process of organization structures and demands more accountability. Members of the Sierra Club use number reaching 5 lakhs are actively involved in the campaigns unlike other groups service. Members are mostly just donors. Individual chapters club have the high degree of autonomy and participants actively local and regional, sometimes national campaigns. In contrast, developing countries have been few NGOs with the same breadth and capture of social space. However, in increasing extent, national NGOs, many international networks and NGOs are in actively. The NGOs, national NGOs have access support they require. These are the regional groups are providing and networks of linking that together environment and development NGOs in Asia, Africa, Eastern, Western Europe, North and South America. They are included number of regional and global coalition of critical issues such as pesticides, chemical, grains and seeds, genetical resources. Right, NGOs in India active since independence focus on forest and water displacement. Nice. There is some movements in India. One is the Chipko movement background. It is started that in 1973 in Uttarakhand region forest conservations. The huge forest is degraded and deforestation. Anti movement. It is socialist movement. It is forest conservation movement. That is the initiator of the leaders of the Chipko movement is Sundarlal Bahuguna, Chandi Prasad Bhatt. Sundarlal Bahuguna is led this movement, received Padma Vibhushan Award. Gaurav Devi led the women in many villages to hug trees. Chandi Prasad Bhatt, key leader of this movement. These are the movement, there are the initiators. Chipko movement is significance. What is the significance of this movement? People participation, um, human leadership, and also forest protections. Right, this is the origin in 1973. Reni village and Garhwal regions of Uttarakhand. Leaders of Sundarlal Bahuguna and Chandi Prasad Bhatt, Gaura Devi. These are the members are there are key persons involved in this movement. Issues logging the rights granted to the aspects of sports and good company, threatening local forest and livelihood actions, villagers hugging the to prevent the loggers and from the cutting of them of trees. In fact, 15 years ban of logging raised the environmental awareness, showcased community-led conservation legacy, inspired the global environmental movements, influenced policy changes, continues to inspire the environmental and activism is important. 1973 Chipko movement began. 1974 human from the rainy villages stopped the loggers, and 1980 the logging ban imposed. These are the movement of Chipko movement. There is starting from the Sundarlal Bahumuna, Chandi Prasad Bhatt, Gauri Devi. These are the member activists there is against about the Chipko movement. Other environmental movement, Narmada Bachao Andolan, Silent Valley movement, Tahri Dam movement. These are the movement involved in, especially we discuss about the Narmada Bachao Andolan. Location very till present and location Narmada Bachao Andolan, Narmada River. Very till present Narmada River in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. In the location of the Narmada River will flow on the northern side. It is Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. Issue has been construction of Sardar Sarovar Dam, displacing the thousands of people. So, what is the main intention of this Narmada Bachao Andolan? Andolan means displacement of. We are constructing, we are building a dam. It is the one criteria to give the water to the to means to the peoples and cultivation of different crops. It is the one criteria. Displacement of thousands. Leaders of Medha Patkar and Baba Amte actions protect Angar strikes to rallies impact to World Bank withdraw funding project review led to changes legacy highlighted the displacement issues influenced policies changes. Next, Silent Valley movement. Silent Valley movement in Kerala. Issue is proposed to hydroelectric project, threatening of endangered species. What is that endangered species? Endemic species. It is present. Line-tailed macaque is present in that areas. Leaders like Kerala Sahasra Sahitya Parishad. There is a protest and petitions, awareness campaigns, impact of protection abandoned Silent Valley declared as a national park. There's a rare species are present in that Silent Valley in Kerala. Legacy showcased environmental activities and protected from the biodiversity. Next, one of the major dam, Narmada Bachao Andolan and Silent Valley and Thari Dam movement. Location very till present in Thari Dam, Bhagirathi River, Uttarakhand. Construction of a Thari Dam, displacing of people's environmental concerns. Leaders of Sundarlal Bahuguna. Action protects hunger strikes, awareness campaigns, impact of project completed, concerns about the displacement of environmental legacy, highlighted environmental and social concerns. Terry Dam movement impact of the project completed, concerns about the displacement of environmental legacy, highlighted environmental and social concerns. State of NGOs in India, rapid growth and increased public participation, government of monitoring, rapid growth, increased public participation and government monitoring. Right, funding of NGOs, government grants, donations, foreign contributions, challenges faced by the NGOs, the lack of funds and political pressures, administrative issues. These all are issues are presented by the funds and political administrative issues and the government and NGOs. Complementary roles and policies supports towards issues is mainly in the during the issues like Narmada Bachao Andolan and Thari Dam issues and Silent Valley. There is a issues means towards the environment. It is the main intention is to protect the endangered silent valley, towards to protect the endangered species, endemic species. These are the species we should protect. Now, Chipko movement, Apico movement in Karnataka regions, and also Narmada Bachao Andolan, Silent Valley in Kerala, rare species, and protect the abundant Silent Valley declared. Tari Dam, it is just Sundarlal Babu, strike awareness campaigns, protected implemented concerns about displacement of the environment. Like state of NGOs, means rapid growth and increased public participations, challenges lack of political pressures and complementary roles, governmentary and policy makers. Next, quasi-governmental institutions, autonomous bodies funded by the governments. Future needs of NGOs, capacity building and transparency, technology use. Public education roles, awareness programs, and environmental educations. Why we need public educations, community training, role of NGOs in sustainable development, balancing the development, like grassroots participations. Right, work at community sustainable development, case study of Indian NGOs work at community level sustainable development on focuses like NGOs. Why we need NGO? Means it is a protection of environment, social justice, social activist. Many of them they know they not aware that environment. Why we loss of habitat aqua means different endemic species, endangered species are losses, different displacement. Why we need we should justice, social justice, environmental justice, activist, social activist ways to fight against environment. Though, so we need environment. It is protected by the these are the people. So importance of volunteerism, so youth participation and social responsibility. Next, summarize. These are the vital about the NGOs. We discuss about the different types of NGOs now. Uh, Now we discuss about the NGOs, need for NGOs, climate changes. We are discuss about all the things we are why we need NGOs. We discuss about that the Chipko movement. In that we summarize things voluntary and other agencies. Now voluntary and other agencies objectives and also next we discuss about the internal voluntary agents and government efforts and focus of social and environmental and economical issues we discuss in this class. We summarize the things, society and nature of the citizens, and also from the different aspects, Raja Ramohan Rai and Gandhiji from freedom for 44 decades, they are fighting from Satyagraha, Gandhiji point of view. We discuss meaning of voluntary organization, non-profit and non-governmental organizations work for public welfare based on voluntary participations. Other phase of development occurred in India after the independence, though it has been roots of colonial governments by the British, with the government taking up the dominant role promoting the socio-economic development. Main concern about the in this way welfare of policies, state have succeeded in making the citizens and emotionally, intellectually, and economically depend on the state agencies, creating positively dependence of apathy. India adopted state-led and model development after the independence. More 40 years of stages of misery and poverty. All system governments have been lost their effectiveness and credibility. Public control and over nations and resources is to develop on mainly develop on freedom movement, reflect the satyagraha and principles of voluntary. Gandhi encouraged citizens to involve in construction of social work. and also we'll discuss in the role of voluntary organizations, social development and environmental protections, awareness and advocacy, changing dimensions of voluntary organizations, from charity to development, from local to global focus, and professionalism of NGOs. We all discuss in this today. We lectures voluntary organization, changing dimensions, dimension of voluntary social communities, but mid 60s. At mid 60s and government though planned allowance of different issues we'll discuss in that NGOs. Why we need NGOs, environmental protection and local, national, international levels. We need that environmental NGO. 30 years of past 30 years, environmental movements has grown dramatically, moved strength to strength. The world over the world, however, the India is movement despite the shining example, still initial stages of comparatively the NGOs are required, non-NGOs organizations, citizens groups, and educations and public awareness and pressures and stimulated. Center stages today occupied by the select group of mass peoples and a need for NGOs, environmental degradation, climate change, loss of biodiversity, Greenpeace introduction of national environmental NGOs funded in 1971 headquartered in Greenpeace, and also in discuss about anti-nuclear climate change actions, forest and ocean protections. Next, Greenpeace 19, it is established in 1971. It is toward the anti-nuclear activities. Next, Serra Club introductions. We all discuss about the 1992. Um, Next, objectives of Serra Club was funded in 1992 United States, and next, all staff members exert strong influence over the process of organization structures, demands more members of Serra Club, and also national NGOs access to support they require, and they include as regional groups and providing that environmental NGOs in India active since independence, focus of forest and water displacement. Next, Chipko movement started in 1973, Uttarakhand regions and forest conservation movement. Chipko movement 1973, Uttarakhand forest conservation movement. Next, Chipko movement 1973, Rani village, Garhwal regions and Uttarakhand, Sundarlal Bahuguna, Chandi Prasad Bhatt and Gauri Devi. These are the members are they are involved in the movement, and women Rani Devi will stop loggers and other environmental movement, Narmada Bachao Andolan, Silent Valley, Tairi Dam movement. Narmada Bachao Andolan, we discuss about the location of Narmada rivers, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh. Issue as the construction of a Sardar Sarovar Dam, displacing the leaders and Medha Patwar, Baba Amte. There is initiators of the Silent Valley movement. Silent Valley, it is Kerala proposed in hydroelectric project threatening of endangered species. Kerala's Sahasra Sahitya Prashit impact of project and petitioners. Location of Bhagirathi River, Uttarakhand, construction of the dam displacing the peoples of environmental concerns. Sundarlal Bahuguna and protest hunger strikes and awareness and campaigns. Project completed concerns about the displacement of environmental and social concerns. State of NGOs in India, rapid growth and increased public participation, government and monitoring. Funding government grants and donations and foreign contributions. Challenges faced in NGOs, lack of funds and political pressures, administrative issues, government and NGOs, complementary roles and policy implementation supports, quasi-government institutions, autonomous bodies and funded by the government. Future needs of NGOs, capacity building, transparency, technology use, awareness programs in environmental education, community training, role of NGOs, sustainability development, balancing the environment and grassroots system and work community levels and sustainability. These are all already we discussed about the things if you go collective of environmental production and need collective effort. This is the strong NGOs government partnership needed. Public partnership is key. This is the end of the lectures. Thank you for listening. These are the things we NGOs, environmental NGOs, looking about the different aspects and toward the environment. They'll work toward the environment NGOs. They are working toward the environment. They make sure that they are all together working for the is based on their all issues and work on their. These are the things we discuss about that lectures, conclusions, point of view, summaries, and NGOs and youth participation and social responsibility. NGOs, Narmada Bachao Andolan, Tehri Dam Andolan. These are the things we discuss about the today lectures. Work community NGOs work at community level sustainability and focus on things we need role of NGOs balancing development of the endeavor, grassroots of participations, future capacity building and transparency technology use of NGOs. We should need capacity, should build technology for use transparency, public awareness programs and environmental education, community training, role of balancing development of environment, grassroots and participations, work at community level, sustainability development, importance of volunteerism, youth participation, social responsibility. NGOs is a vital role of that we concluded this one. Again, we'll start with another lecture.